You are not who you used to be. You just haven't admitted it yet. Somewhere behind you, in a version of your life you keep dragging into the present, there is a man who is comfortable, a man who settles, a man who takes the smaller portion because the smaller portion doesn't require him to change. That man is not you, not anymore. He is a memory wearing your face. Look at his hands, soft from never gripping anything long enough to build a callus. Look at his eyes, tired, but not from work tired, from the exhausting effort of avoiding the one conversation he needs to have with himself. Look at his mouth, always ready with a reason, a good one, a reasonable one. The kind of reason that sounds intelligent in the moment and sounds like cowardice in hindsight. You know this man intimately. You have defended him for years. You keep him alive out of habit. You keep him alive because he's familiar. Because letting him die feels somehow like losing something, even though what he offers you is nothing. No growth, no fire, no future worth waking up for. You must let him go. You must force yourself to outgrow him. Not wait for outgrowth. Not hope for it. Force it. Growth is not something that happens to you while you sit still. Growth is not a gift delivered on a quiet Tuesday because you were patient and polite and waited your turn. Growth is a war you declare on your own comfort. Growth is a decision made daily to become someone your old self would not recognize. You must decide today that the man you were is no longer welcome in the life you are building. Look at him closely, one last time. He wakes up and negotiates with the day before it even begins. He tells himself 5 more minutes. He tells himself tomorrow. He tells himself when things calm down, when the timing is better, when he feels ready. He will never feel ready. Readiness is a lie the weak tell themselves to justify staying small. You do not need to feel ready. You need to move. The old you waited for motivation like a beggar waits for scraps. The new you does not wait for motivation. The new you creates momentum through motion and lets the feeling catch up later, if it ever bothers to show up at all. Motion first, feeling second, every time. Napoleon Hill did not write that riches begin with wishing. He wrote that riches begin with a burning desire that will not accept defeat. A desire made definite. A desire so specific it becomes an obsession that reorganizes your entire nervous system around a single aim. Wishing is what the old you does. Burning desire is what the new you becomes. There is a difference between wanting something and being possessed by it. The old you wants a better life, the way a man wants a better view from his window passively, wistfully, without lifting a hand to change his position. The new you does not want a better life. The new you is obsessed with building one, consumed by it, unable to sleep without thinking of the next move, unable to rest until the vision is real. You must define with brutal specificity exactly what you are becoming. Not successful. Success is vague, and vague goals produce vague men. Not rich. Rich is a fog. You cannot walk toward fog. You must know the number. You must know the date. You must know the identity you are constructing, brick by brick, decision by decision, until the man who once hesitated is buried so deep in your past that strangers who meet you now would never believe he existed. Definiteness of purpose. Say it to yourself until it stops sounding like a phrase from a book and starts sounding like a command from your own blood. A ship without a destination drifts wherever the current decides. A man without a defined purpose drifts wherever comfort, fear, and other people's opinions decide for him. You are done drifting. Stand in front of the mirror tonight and ask yourself one question you have been avoiding. Not am I happy? Happiness is too easily manufactured by a warm meal and a good night's sleep. That question will lie to you. Ask instead, if I continue exactly as I am, for the next 10 years, does the man staring back at me become someone I respect or someone I quietly resent? Sit with that. Do not look away from the mirror while you answer it. Most men cannot hold their own gaze for more than a few seconds while asking that question honestly. They look down. They reach for their phone. They tell themselves they'll think about it later, tomorrow, some other night when they're not so tired. Later never comes for men who only examine themselves in passing. The old you feared judgment. He rehearsed conversations in his head before he even had them. He shrank his ambitions in front of other people so they wouldn't think he was arrogant. He apologized for wanting more, as if wanting more was an insult to those who wanted less. The new you does not apologize for ambition. Ambition is not arrogance. Ambition is respect for the one life you were given, and a refusal to waste it playing small so that smaller people feel comfortable around you. Let them feel uncomfortable. Let them whisper. Let them wonder what happened to the man they used to know, the one who agreed with everything, the one who never pushed back, the one who could be counted on to stay exactly where he was so everyone else could feel superior by comparison. That man is gone. You buried him, and you are not digging him back up for anyone's comfort. Outgrowing yourself is not gentle. It is not a soft unfolding, like a flower opening at its own pace in the warmth of spring. It is closer to breaking a bone so it can heal straighter than it ever was. It hurts. It should hurt. If it doesn't hurt, you are not actually changing, you are only rearranging the furniture in the same small room you've always lived in. You must be willing to disappoint people who only loved the version of you that made them comfortable. Some of them will not survive your growth. Some friendships were built entirely on your smallness, on your willingness to stay beneath them, to never outpace them, to remain a safe and unthreatening presence in their lives. When you grow past that role, some of them will not celebrate you. They will resent you. Let them. You were not put on this earth to remain a comfortable size for other people's egos. You were put here to expand. And expansion, real expansion, always costs you something. It cost you relationships that depended on your stagnation. It cost you the identity you built your comfort around. It cost you every excuse you've ever used to explain why today wasn't the day. The old you collected excuses like trophies. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough support, not the right moment. He held those excuses up to the light and admired them, as if a well-crafted excuse was an accomplishment, as if explaining why you didn't do something was a worthy substitute for doing it. The new you does not collect excuses. The new you burns them. Every single one. Not enough time then you find it. In the hour before dawn when the old you was still asleep, dreaming of a life he refused to build while awake. Not enough money then. You build the skill that generates it. Instead of waiting for it to fall into your lap like rain you did nothing to summon. Not enough support then, you become your own mastermind of one, until you attract the men who move the way you move. Not the right moment, there is no right moment. There is only this moment, and what you choose to do with it. Hill taught something the old you never took seriously. The mind absorbs, and eventually acts upon, whatever it is repeatedly told by the world, or by yourself. Every morning the old you woke up and, without ever saying it aloud, repeated the same quiet suggestion to his own mind. Not enough. Not yet. Not now. And his mind, obedient as it always is, built a life that matched the instruction. You have been programming yourself by accident for years. It is time to program yourself on purpose. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to the man you are trying to become, not the man you are afraid of staying. Autosuggestion is not a trick, and it is not magic. It is repetition aimed at your own identity until the identity catches up to the words. Say what the disciplined man would say about himself, even before you feel like him. Especially before you feel like him. The feeling was never going to come first. It never does. Persistence, Hill called it the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Not talent, not luck, not connections. Persistence, the plain, unglamorous refusal to quit, when quitting would be so much easier, so much more comfortable, so much more understandable to everyone watching. Most men quit exactly one step before the breakthrough. They quit not because they lacked ability. They quit because they lacked persistence in the moment when persistence was the only thing required of them. You will feel like quitting. Understand that now, so it doesn't ambush you later. There will be a night when the exhaustion sits on your chest like a stone, when every voice in your head tells you this isn't working, when the old comfortable version of you starts whispering that it wasn't so bad back there, that you could just stop, that no one would blame you. That whisper is not wisdom. That whisper is the old you, trying to resurrect himself. Do not answer him. Outgrowing yourself means outgrowing your own doubt. Doubt feels like caution. It disguises itself as wisdom, as realism, as maturity. But doubt is only fear, wearing a suit and tie, trying to look respectable while it talks you out of the one life you actually want. You must learn to act in spite of doubt. Not because the doubt disappears, it rarely does, but because you decide the mission matters more than the discomfort of moving forward uncertain. Faith, real faith, is not the absence of fear. It is action taken while the fear is still speaking. The old you needed certainty before he moved. The new you moves and builds certainty through the moving. Confidence is not the prerequisite for action. Confidence is the byproduct of it. Think of the man you are becoming as a stranger you have not yet met, but who is already waiting for you on the other side of every hard choice you keep avoiding. He is disciplined where you are lazy. He is composed where you are reactive. He is focused where you are scattered across 100 shiny distractions that will mean nothing in 5 years. He is already real. He is simply waiting for you to stop making excuses for the version of you that keeps him locked out. Every day you choose comfort over growth. You are choosing the old self over the new one. Every day you choose the earlier alarm, the harder set, the uncomfortable conversation, the disciplined plate, the deep work instead of the easy scroll. You are voting for the man you are becoming. Your life is not shaped by your intentions. It is shaped by your votes. Cast them wisely. Cast them daily. Cast them even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching, because that is where identity is actually built. Look at the 5 men you spend the most time with. The old you chose them by accident proximity, convenience, shared history, the simple fact that they were already there when you needed company. You never asked whether they were building anything. You never asked whether their conversations left you sharper or duller, hungrier or more sedated. The new you chooses that circle on purpose. Hill called it the mastermind principle, 2 or more minds working in harmony toward a definite aim, generating a force greater than the sum of its parts. Not 5 men complaining in harmony, not 5 men numbing themselves in harmony. Minds moving towards something, together, sharpening each other the way steel sharpens steel. If your circle is not building you, it is slowly, quietly, comfortably dismantling you. You will have to walk away from rooms that once felt like home, not out of arrogance, not because you think you're better, but because a man cannot stand in the mud and reach for the sky with the same 2 hands. Choose your circle the way you choose everything else now on purpose, with definiteness, without apology. Transmutation. Hill spoke of the transmutation of desire, taking a raw, burning want and converting it into disciplined, directed action, not suppressing the desire, not indulging it carelessly, channeling it, the way a river is channeled through a dam and turned into power. Your frustration with the old you that is fuel. Your anger at the wasted years that is fuel. Your grief over opportunities you let slip past while you waited to feel ready, that too is fuel. Do not waste that fuel on self-pity. Transmute it. Point it at the life you are building and let it burn. The old you sought comfort. The new you seeks growth, and understands that growth and comfort cannot occupy the same room at the same time. If you are comfortable, you are not growing. If you are growing, you are rarely comfortable. Choose which discomfort you would rather live, with the discomfort of discipline, which fades and turns into strength, or the discomfort of regret, which does not fade and only deepens with every year you allow to pass unchanged. Picture the man who never left the smaller room. 10 years from now, he is still making the same excuses. Older now, more bitter, more convinced the world owes him something it never promised. He watches other men build the lives he once dreamed of and calls it luck, calls it privilege, calls it anything except the truth that they simply refused to stay who they used to be, and he did not. Do not become him. You are not obligated to remain consistent with a version of yourself that no longer serves the man you are meant to become. People will accuse you of change like it's a betrayal. Let them. Consistency is only a virtue when what you are being consistent with is worth preserving. Consistency with weakness is not integrity. It is stagnation wearing a noble word as a disguise. You are allowed to change your mind about the life you are willing to accept. You are allowed to outgrow friendships, environments, habits, and beliefs that once felt like home but now feel like a cage with the door left open, waiting only for you to walk through it. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is the architecture of the self you are constructing. Every rep, every early morning, every meal chosen with intention, every distraction refused, these are not sacrifices. They are bricks. And bricks, laid one after another with enough persistence, become a structure that can hold weight the old version of you could never have carried. You must become someone before life gives you what that someone deserves. The world does not reward potential. It rewards the man who has already forged himself into the shape capable of carrying the reward without collapsing under its weight. Build the man first. The results will follow the construction, not precede it. There will be a moment, maybe not today, maybe not this month, but it will come when you catch a glimpse of an old habit trying to reassert itself. The snooze button, the excuse, the smaller version of the goal, dressed up as being realistic. In that moment, you have a choice. Let the old self back in for one more night, or close the door permanently and remind him he is not welcome here anymore. Force yourself. That is the part no one wants to hear, because it is not romantic. It does not sound like destiny or fate or the universe conspiring in your favor. It sounds like will. It sounds like standing in front of the mirror on the mornings when you feel nothing and moving anyway. It sounds like keeping a promise to yourself on the days when breaking it would be so easy, so quiet, so easily justified. No one will know if you break it, but you will know. And the man you are becoming is built entirely out of promises kept when no one was watching. Outgrow him. Outgrow the version of you that flinched at criticism. Outgrow the version of you that needed permission to want more. Outgrow the version of you that measured his worth by the comfort of the people around him instead of the truth of his own potential. Outgrow him completely, not partially, not on your good days only, completely until there is no trace of him left except as a warning, a reminder, a ghost you keep in the back of your mind so you never drift back toward the smaller life he was content to live. This is not a one-time decision. You do not outgrow yourself once and remain grown forever. You will have to force this outgrowth again, and again, and again. Every plateau you reach will eventually reveal a new, smaller version of yourself standing at the top of it, comfortable, ready to settle, ready to call this good enough. It is never good enough. Growth is not a destination. It is a discipline you practice until the day you die. Picture the morning, years from now, when this version of the fight is behind you. You wake before the alarm, not because you forced it anymore, but because the man you built no longer needs forcing. The bed does not hold you the way it used to. The work does not intimidate you the way it used to. The mirror shows you someone whose eyes don't drop when the hard question comes. You did not arrive there by accident. You arrived there because on a night like tonight, you made a decision the old you would have postponed. You chose the harder path when the easier one was standing right there, unlocked, familiar, waiting to let you back in. You said no to him, and you kept saying no, one ordinary day at a time, until the no became who you are. That morning is not guaranteed to you. It is available to you. There is a difference, and the difference is entirely a matter of what you do in the next 24 hours, not the next 24 years. The years take care of themselves once the days are handled. The old you was always thinking too far ahead to avoid dealing with today. The new you understands that today, handled with total discipline, is the only currency that ever actually buys the future. So look at him one final time, the man you used to be. Standing in the doorway of the life you are leaving behind. Thank him if you want. He got you this far. But do not let him walk beside you any further. The door is closing. Walk through it. Become the man waiting on the other side, the one who is already disciplined, already focused, already living the life the old you only ever talked about. He has been waiting. Stop keeping him waiting. Force yourself to outgrow the person you used to be starting now.